Welcome to another Small Cap Power discussion. I'm your host, Jim Gordon. We're here filming on location at the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel in downtown Vancouver, part of the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, which is taking place just across the street. Joining me now is the Director and CEO of Brascan Gold, Balbir Johal. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Jim.
Let's talk first about the company. You've got 120 years of experience on this Brascan team. Tell us about your history so far.
Yeah, you know, Brascan started about 2 years ago, and we got together with some senior geologists who've done a lot of work in Brazil, particularly a fellow called Dr. Harrison Kukenbu, who's been there for 30 years. And we started to say, well, you know, what minerals look interesting about a couple of years ago, so we decided to focus on gold, and therefore we named the company Brascan Gold because we're looking at assets in Brazil and assets in Canada, particularly Newfoundland. So that's where the company started. We raised about $800,000, $700,000. It was a private company. Right. We got our initial listing property, went public in October, and we're a public company, and there's been lots of development since October.
Let's talk about some of those developments. You've got two projects, one, as you mentioned, in Brazil, one in Newfoundland. Let's talk about your Newfoundland property first.
Yeah. So Newfoundland is experiencing a mineral gold rush right now, and there's a company called Newfound Gold that found a pretty big potential huge ore body. Eric Sprott has invested $250 million personally in that one. The company's worth about, well, personally his corporations, but the bottom line is that company's worth about $1.3 billion, and that's what started the land rush. And many companies have gone in, hundreds of millions of dollars and raised. So we had very good contacts there through a company called Shoreline Aggregates and others, and we were able to find some very good properties. We have actually optioned 5 properties in Newfoundland, and we're working on optioning another 7 that we've told a news release about. So we could have 12 properties all over Newfoundland that are highly prospective.
All right. How about Brazil?
Brazil, we have a property called the Alegra Gold Property, and it's in Para State, which is northern Brazil, and it's a very amenable to mining, just like Newfoundland. You know, it's easy to get things done, not a lot of red tape, all that type of stuff. The Alegra Gold Property is in an area with several gold properties. The Alegra is surrounded by IM Gold and Kinross, and also up north there is a company called Gold Mining, and they have a Quachera property up there, and there's Oz Resources that has a pretty big gold resource. And so we're right in this area, and right now we're doing exploration work on that property. It's underway last several weeks.
Balbir, you mentioned Eric Sprott earlier. There was an article written on him recently where he, to put it mildly, was expressing his strong belief and support to Newfoundland. So you can pick it up.
Absolutely. You know, a few weeks ago there was an article written there where he was quoted, Eric Sprott, that said that this Newfoundland discovery, in which he's personally invested $250 million now, could be the largest mineral gold discovery in Canadian history. It's very exciting. And that's why we're there, because we're in the first innings of this Newfoundland gold rush and mineral rush. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being spent, 30, 40 companies are there, and we're very lucky because we have some of the top geologists and people there, boots on the ground, that we're working with a very, very high caliber. So we feel that our company has just as good a shot as any other one to find a deposit. The geology is very similar to Australia. The Foster mines down there, the theory is that all of Newfoundland has a similar geological structure as Australia, where there's been huge discoveries. So it isn't just going to be Newfound Gold, but we feel there'll be several other discoveries, and we want to be one of those people that find that.
You found, I was reading about, of course, over 120 years of experience on your team.
Yes.
One of the things we're asking people about in these interviews is, you know, we seem to be, without getting too presumptuous, coming out of the worst period of time that most of us have experienced. How did you find the last couple of years, the challenges for you and your team with COVID and lockdowns and flying?
Yeah, you know, that's been very interesting. You know, obviously with COVID, you know, there's been a lot of new policies brought in and procedures. Yeah. We're working with a company called the CBM Group that we optioned the property from. The leader of that company is a fellow called Ken Johnson. And anyways, he owns the largest diamond company in South America, and he has a huge team. And one of their diamond properties is only 30 minutes from our property. Right. We option from them, so we have. He's already put in ESG in place and all kinds of other procedures. So we're lucky that way. We have a fantastic team in Brazil and similarly in Newfoundland.
New developments. Let's talk about, you had a news release come out recently.
Yeah, you know,
90-day action plan.
There's lots going on. Okay, it's what I'd like to say is, even though we're not very good market conditions right now, given the war, inflation, and all that sort of stuff, and gold going down a bit. The thing is that we are working at the Allegra property right now. That's going, and what we're doing there is we're doing a program with geophysics, that sort of stuff, to basically define drill targets. Mm-hmm. So after we get this part of the program done, we'll be in a better position to drill. And in that regard, there's Guy and Perros there that are artisan miners, mm-hmm. and they have found millions of dollars worth of gold on the surface about 20 meters down. Okay, so we believe underneath that bedrock could be a multi-million ounce gold deposit. So that's one thing. So that's what we're shooting for there, a multi-million ounce gold potential. Okay. You know, Newfoundland, we have these gold properties, but recently we decided to diversify our mandate. And the reason is critical minerals become very important. The federal government, just this last budget, created a tax break called the Critical Minerals Tax Credit. Okay. And my financials advisors tell me that hundreds of millions of dollars are going to flow into critical minerals. So I'm going to Newfoundland at the end of the month. We're going for the 33rd annual Bayvert Mining Conference, where there'll be lots and lots of people. Mm-hmm. But also we have our geological team and our boots on the ground, and we're going to be looking at aggregate properties, critical mineral properties, and sort of diversify the metals that we're looking at beyond gold. Mm-hmm. So that's the exciting new development, that we might have some special situations. One particular element that we're really excited about is ilmenite. Ilmenite is titanium dioxide. It's used in paints, about 95%. And you know what? We're going to be looking at some of those projects, and we may make some further acquisitions, not in gold, but in critical minerals and rare earth minerals and aggregates and ilmenite.
Talking with the Director and CEO of Brascan Gold, Balbir Johal, who's been joining us here. More information, it's brascangold.com. Sir, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for watching this edition of Small Cap Power Discussion. More details on us, smallcappower.com. Check out past videos on our YouTube channel. I'm Jim Gordon. We're here live filming at the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel, part of the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Thanks for watching.